NTV Tonight with Zainab Ismail.
Thank you for staying with us. A woman is in a stressful legal tussle with her advocates over the payment of an insurance claim tonight. Gladys Muthoni is now ready to take on the proprietors of Ayeko Kang'ethe and Company advocates for refusing to pay her money after a Nairobi court awarded her $5 million after her husband's death. NTV has investigated Muthoni's complaint, and here's NTV's Brian Obuya.
Those were the words of Justice Richard Kuloba in 2001 as he handed his judgment in a 1999 insurance claim case pitting Muthoni versus Apollo Insurance in 2001. Kuloba described lawyers as triple satanic. Of course, lawyers contested this generalization of their noble profession. They may have a point. However, the number of lawyers accused of swindling their clients is increasing day by day.
Because imagine this, a woman's husband dies in a grisly road accident caused by one of the parties. The court is told of the horrendous tragedy and awards 5.1 million shillings as compensation to the widow. Now, the biggest battle is getting the millions of shillings from the advocates.
Julius Karuti Mwenda was born in Igembe South, Meru County in October 1982. The 32-year-old man, described as soft-spoken, would not be in the news today if not for the events of the evening of November 23, 2014. Julius, his wife Gladys Muthoni, and one of his two sons were driving home along Kangundo Road on the said Sunday evening when they were involved in a tragic crash.
Kwa tunatoka kwa duka yetu kumwaga mzigo na ikahappen hapo Kangundo Road po 26. After all tukaenda hospitali akapasa asubuhi.
Juliet's wife and son survived, but he died the next morning at the Kenyatta National Hospital. Gladys went to court seeking compensation for her husband's death. She instructed Ayeko Kang'ethe and Company advocates to handle her case. A chief magistrate's court in Nairobi will be informed of Mwenda's pain and suffering. Chief Magistrate Liz Gisheha, in conclusion, awarded Gladys Muthoni Waruguru 5,125,800 Kenya shillings as compensation. Gladys Muthoni Waruguru and Ayeko Kang'ethe Company advocates would then begin endless battles. Even though she was paid as far back as November 2020, they have never given her a single cent of that amount.
Wakaniambia pesa yenye imelipwa pesa kidogo na insurance na hatuwezi kupatia pesa nusu. After all, nikafuatilia hiyo ingine. Wakaniambia kuna appeal imewekwa, kwa hivyo wanataka wajue hiyo appeal ni ya nani. Ni ya nani. Nikafuatilia nikajua si appeal imewekwa, ni application ya Moonwalk wapewe time ya kulipa hiyo pesa. Nikafuatilia nikapata hiyo pesa imelipwa. Nikawaambia niko na mashida, kwa hivyo wachukue komishoni yao wanisaidie na hiyo pesa ingine ndio niweze kufuatilia watoto juu watoto hawakuwa shule. Sikuwa na kazi, so na nyumba ndio hiyo ilikuwa inahitaji kulipwa, so nilikuwa na mashida. Waliniambia hawezi nipatia hiyo pesa, nisubiri mpaka siku ile hiyo pesa yote italipwa juu kuna pesa bado haijalipwa. Nikasubiri mpaka hii pesa ingine ikakuja. Hii pesa ingine kulipwa, nikafuatilia na nikajua hiyo pesa imeshalipwa. Nikaenda kwa ofisi yao, wakaniambia hawawezi nipatia hiyo pesa nikiwa sijafungua joint account na brother ya mzee. Nikaenda mpaka Meru tukafungua joint account. After kufungua joint account nikawapelekea hiyo account. Wakaniambia wako wameniambia ati nifungue tena account. Na hakuna pesa yenye wanaweza nipatia, pesa watanipatilia kotini. Kafuatilia nikajua hata wale washalipa. Kuenda tena ndio wakaniambia chukua hiyo 500 kwanza ujisaidie na mashida zako. Hiyo ingine tutaja kuitia tukijua koti venye itasema. nikaambiwa nisichukue 500. Kuna mtu aliniadvise nisichukue pesa nusu, ndio nikichukua pesa nusu hakuna mahali penye naweza wapeleka, so nimejicommit.
After a series of what appeared to be trickery by her advocates, Gladys reported the matter to the Law Society of Kenya, who asked her not to appear at their office again until she is called.
Nikaambiwa nisubiri mpaka siku ile watani email. Mimi mwenyewe nikaona wamekawia sana, nikarudi huko kwa LSK. Wakaniambia ati nigoje mpaka siku ile watani email. Wao wenyewe ni wao watani email na nisirudi kuenda huko. Kang'ethe akanipigia tena, akaniambia ameambiwa anafanya the right thing kwa LSK. Ndio nikachukua step ya kuenda kwa advocate complaint. Nikasaidiwa the last minute. Nikienda huko naambiwa wamepewa siku fulani. Nikienda naambiwa wamepewa siku fulani. So na huko nayo nikaona sisaidiki. Ndio nikaenda kwa DCI.
Gladys had been receiving assistance from the Advocates Complaint Commission until recently, when Principal State Counsel Alice Mwendwa threatened to close her file for having reported the matter to the LSK through this letter written on the 15th of December. Mwendwa's letter made reference to advocates' correspondences to Gladys, but which she claims to know nothing about.
Sisi wenyewe ni sisi tutakuita, siku yenye tutawaita, siku ile tutawapeleka tribunal, huko ndio tutakuita. Up to now sijawahi itwa na sijawahi andikiwa barua yote. Mimi hakuna barua nyingine nilipokea, hiyo yao yenye walikuwa wananiambia ati waliambiwa wanafanya the right thing.
With a string of documents and records, the court ruled in favor of Gladys Muthoni against Moonwalk Investment Limited and its driver. But there is no doubt that the entire sum of 5.1 million was paid to the advocates. But just who are Ayeko Kang'ethe and Company advocates? The company was originally called Ayeko and Company and registered on July 26, 2012, before changing its name to Ayeko Kang'ethe on October 13, 2014, upon the entry of a new partner. The company and its bank accounts are managed by two advocates, Victor Odhiambo Ayeko and Charles Mwangi Kang'ethe. A bank account that they opened at the Cooperative House on the 9th of January 2015 says that they own a joint account and that both of them must sign for the money to be withdrawn from that account. The law firm is headquartered on Uhuru Highway at Utalii House. Muthoni's submission is that the two advocates intended to swindle her way before the case was concluded on the following grounds.
Juu hata wakiniona kotini walikuwa wananiuliza naenda kufanya nini. Alafu kuanzia hapo venye nilileta ndugu ya mzee wakachukua ID yake. Wakamfuatilia wakasema ati ni mtu nimerokota. Na kuanzia mwanzo wa kikesi hiyo kesi hawakuwa wanasema ni mtu nimerokota. Venye pesa imetokea nimemleta mpaka kwa ofisi, hapo ndio walisema ati si ndugu ya mzee. Na venye wamefuatilia mpaka nyumbani wamempata, wamemuona ni ndugu yake. Alafu kuanzia hapo wakaanza kumpigia simu wakimwambia mimi mwenyewe nisimchukue, nimwambie nimlete kwa hiyo ofisi tena. Nikienda kwa ofisi yao ndio niwaambia ati maneno ya pesa kuna pesa fulani imeingia kwa account. Hapo ndio wanaanza kuniambia enda ufungue joint account. Nikienda kufungua joint account natoka hapa mpaka Meru. Nikifungua tena nikikuja wananiambia hii pesa inafaa kupelekwa. Kuna pesa imewekwa appeal na hatujui ni nani ameweka appeal. Na wao wenyewe wanaelewa appeal na application. Huwa wanatafuta kitu ya kubuy time, nayo wananiambia inafaa kukua hivi, inafaa kupelekwa kotini, nafaa kuleta mtu fulani. Juu last time waliniambia mama yao anafaa kukuja.
The DCI was prompted to arrest advocate Victor Odhiambo Ayeko, but when they forwarded his file for criminal charges, somehow the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions through Principal Prosecution Counsel Festus Njeru Njue wrote to the investigating officer Faith Masiolo and threw the matter back to the Advocates Complaints Commission, a commission that now says it is closing Muthoni's file but waiting for a response from Ayeko and Kang'ethe for an indefinite period of time, at least according to Alice Mwendwa's letter.
NTV's investigations unit has perused several documents, and our team has gotten in touch with all the parties involved. And we can begin to show you how the two advocates received the monies they have withheld. That breakdown begins this minute.
In a file forwarded by the DCI to the ODPP, bank statements show that on the 23rd of September 2020, Moonwalk Investment sent 1 million shillings in 2 tranches of 500,000 to the account owned by the two advocates. Moonwalk Investments made a further transaction of 500,000 on the 23rd of October, and Moonwalk Investments settled 2.4 million shillings of compensation in total. We can further reveal that available documents retrieved from Madison Insurance show that the insurance company had earlier paid 3 million shillings of the total amount. Victor Ayeko and Charles Mwangi Kang'ethe received the whole amount of money. Gladys wonders why the duo is not paying her money. I asked Ayeko the question, and the advocate appeared to have had no reason.
It is a very long story. It's only one you can understand when we sit down and you look at the file, because it has involved DCI, where I was arrested, and it's a very long story, sometime in June. So it's not something you can ask me one question and you get an answer. It has gone to the Law Society of Kenya. After that, she reported to the police. I was arrested on a Friday. I was detained, being charged. They never charged me. I was released on a fine, on a police bond. So it's not something you can tell me, give me an answer without looking at the file of where it is, yes? Yeah, so it's not something I can tell you this is it. It's a very long story.
There's no specific reason as to why the funds were not sent to her?
Not that there is no specific reason. The reason is that it has been a very long, why we got here and why you are calling me, it's been a long journey. Yeah, because you have to look at the file. That is what I told the DCI, let us look at the file. That is why they dropped their charges.
The advocate was not telling the entire truth. The DCI never dropped charges against him. They halted the case because of this letter from the ODPP that referred the matter to the Advocates Complaints Commission. Commissioner Caroline Saroni, head of the Advocates Complaints Commission, told Kwale journalists in November that over 70 complaints against advocates are reported every month. According to her, 80% of the cases are those of advocates who refuse to return clients' money paid by insurance companies after winning cases. At least according to this advocate, it is more common with advocates who handle accident claims.
Knowing how running down also operate, running down matters accidents, kuna konga na attack. In the document yenye hao watu walisign, the advocate is entitled to a third of the fees. So kama ni kama ni 6 million, a third of that, so the advocate will be entitled to. Najua mawakili wengi sana wenye wanafanya hiyo running down. Unajua wanakuanga, sasa even mimi niliamua as a practice itafanya, because wanakuanga very shrewd into the fact kwamba hata wakisha kata ile atadi yao, they normally just create funny expenditures. Sijui nilifile na pesa ngapi, nilifile na nini, kitambo hata remit hiyo pesa out of 6 unaweza tukia jamaa nakata 4 remit 2, anasema hizo zingine ni zake. Wanakuanga hivyo.
Is that even right?
Morally it is wrong, but you know they have a way of now running under the law. Kwa sababu kama those guys, because I know how it happens, those guys normally sign those what we call instructions note, authorizing huyu wakili to deduct 30% of whatever is he will get. So wakisha deduct hiyo 30%, wakili anasema hiyo ni yake out of an agreement. Alafu anasema kuna zile mafees yenye ameinka.
But why should such a noble profession be admonished and dreaded?
That is a bigger question of ethical values in Kenya, the value system in Kenya. Advocates are also Kenyans. And in Kenya, we have serious challenges to do with corruption, both in public and private sector. So you look at instances where professionals, not only advocates, professionals behave in a manner that's ethically not justifiable. You contextualize as part of the bigger ethical problem we have in Kenya and the bigger corruption problem we have in Kenya. I need to mention that I know of several advocates who do diligent work, who are very professional and who serve their clients and advise them professionally, notwithstanding that occasionally the cases are against their clients.
So what next for Gladys Muthoni, whose children are out of school and without proper shelter? While this is going on, Gladys Muthoni intends to go back to court and file an application on her case demanding that her advocates account for the money.
Hiyo time at least nilikuwa na nyumba. Kwa wakati huu sina nyumba ya kuishi juu nimekaa mwaka mmoja na nusu. Mpaka hao wakaamua wakanifeva wakarafu wakaniambia nitoke juu hiyo ni biashara. Watoto nao ndio hao. Hawaendi shule, walifukuzwa shule juu sina kazi ya kuwalipia school fees na walikuwa private. Kazi ile yenye nimefungua tena juzi tena ndio hiyo nimeauctioniwa na nimeandikiwa barua za kuauctioniwa.
Brian Obuya, NTV.
It is a cry for justice for Gladys Muthoni and a lot of reaction on social media here. At Frederick Kavo saying the advocate of pain is a clear evidence that people are suffering in the hands of lawyers. We want to see what the DCI and the Law Society of Kenya will do on that. We certainly hope the relevant authorities will look into those claims. Let's take a break. We'll be back.